The story you heard about first in Hometown Headlines was indeed a big bump in the political scene last week. Rick Crawford, longtime Democratic candidate, State House District 16, jumped over to the GOP side of things. Has had a lot of folks talking about that since Thursday, midday Thursday. We had Rick on the program Friday. This morning we're joined by his Republican opponent, and that would be Trey Kelley. Trey, good morning, sir.
Good morning, John. I hope you're having a good Monday so far. And, you know, I know everybody's out there seeing the rain right now. Hopefully we can keep the storms away, but much needed rain for us here in Northwest Georgia.
Well, you're not kidding. We do need the rain, but I tell you, I got our son's little flag football team's got a doubleheader tonight to decide the tournament championship. So then, since we don't have a dome or an indoor stadium, and maybe put off a couple days, we'll take a look at that and watch that rain. No matter what, like you said, we need that rain. And I know you were around all weekend. I know you talked more about the weather with a lot of folks. What's going on out there?
Well, you know, John, you kind of alluded to, you know, did allude to my three-term incumbent Democrat opponent's recent decision, and there are a lot of people talking right now. But really, our focus on the campaign trail is still on, you know, getting Georgia working again. You know, my opponent seems to be willing to say or do anything to try to keep his job, but John, we're really, you know, focused on bringing jobs back to the hard-working citizens of the 16th district. So, you know, it really hasn't, affected my campaign's focus. I can tell you, as I've gone across the district, speaking with Republicans, Democrats, and independents over the last 10 months, what they've told me is, you know, the thing they're most upset about is you know, one, this terrible economy, but also they're tired of career politicians who are just willing to say or do anything to try to get reelected, and so, you know, they have the opportunity to make, you know, the conscious decision on November 6th to choose between, you know, my incumbent opponent, who seems to be having a political identity crisis, or myself, who's the same person today as I was 6 months ago. So.
Well, today has been a lot of calls off. You folks from the Cedartown area over the weekend at a cross-country meet, and, I mean, it's one of the top topics on your mind. But, I mean, it all comes down to this, that we take a look at it this morning on our Buzz section today. It all comes down to the voter. I mean, no matter what, it's still, I mean, in this election, you know, yes, you and Mr. Crawford do have some ideological differences, whether now in the same party or different party, whatever it is. Rick has always been, I know Mike Morton's going to kill me on this, a conservative Democrat. He has voted conservative. He's always spoken conservative. But now, okay, he's made this thing. Yes, we're just, 6 weeks out of the main election here, the general election. It's up to the voter to decide all this stuff. Let's see what the voters have to say.
You know, absolutely, John. We're 36 days out today, and the voters will have the opportunity to start making that decision here on October 15th when early voting starts. But you know what you really allude to there. You know, we are going to have some similar ideological beliefs. I mean, I think we can say, you know, right off the bat that, you know, I'm a pro-life, you know, and he's, you know, pro-life. I'm pro-gun, and you know, he seems to be as well, and both share, you know, our pro. Traditional marriage values. I think what we've really got to look at, John, is who has the best plan to get Georgia working again. And, you know, since day one of my campaign, we've offered that. We've offered the plan to, you know, bring jobs back. And, you know, John, I work in small business. I live this every day, and I know it's not going to be the government that creates jobs, and it's going to be the government getting out of the way. And that's why, you know, I say the first thing we got to do is start cutting taxes. We need to look at, you know, phasing out Georgia's income tax, and then we need to be repealing these regulations, which just hamper small business. But you know, I just reiterate, you know, these aren't campaign promises, John. This is just, you know, my life. I deal with small business every day, and, you know, working in, you know, my family's manufacturer's rep agency, I see the challenges. I'm not going to need, you know, somebody bringing me a white paper, you know, report to tell me, you know, what's going on in our economy here.
Yeah, I was wondering who also writes these white papers. I mean, you know, over 35 years of doing journalism, I mean, the one you read, the one I read 35 years ago, I guarantee will read the same darn way today. You kind of wonder, what a great living. Go out there, okay, this is my white paper study on so-and-so. I agree. It's a facts of life. Go around, talk to small business owners in the community, see what's on their mind. It's regulation. It's creating jobs. From day one, they've said, what will get us out of this recession will be small business. And I think we're starting to see more of that. We're talking to Trey Kelley, a Republican candidate for State House District 16, getting his reaction to Mr. Crawford's announcement. We'll come back and talk more about Trey, about you, your campaign, what's coming up next. Take a break right now. It's Hometown Headlines, Radio Edition. We're going to go from stormy weather to stormy politics. Not really stormy politics. Lousy transition there. Talking to Trey Kelley again, State House District 16 candidate, Republican side. Trey, again, I know you've had a very busy week. You had a very busy 10 months. You were one of the first ones to jump out in all of campaign 2012.
Yeah, you're right, John. We made the decision to enter this race, our formal announcement on January 7th. We did so because we know our state and the 16th district has some tough challenges ahead, and felt like we can make a positive difference in our community. We're fortunate enough to have overwhelming support in the Republican primary, and look forward to continuing to just build on that momentum. And now, take on this incumbent challenger here in the fall.
Well, once again, belated congratulations on that primary win. That was one of the more civil campaigns, I think, out there. I mean, two very good candidates on that. You guys conducted that quite well. And now here we are going to the prime time. As you said, 36 days away. What's these next few weeks going to be like for you as a candidate?
Oh, John, it's a lot of us doing, what we've done so far. Voters have showed us that, that they are, engaged in our race. They recognize that our state, our country, our district are, facing some difficult times right now, and they want, you touched a little bit on stormy politics, and this situation, voters right now, we're seeing so much apathy out of voters and low voter turnouts, and I really do believe it's because, we're seeing so many people lose faith in our political process and in our elected officials, and that's really, like many of them, that's why I felt the same way, and that's why I decided to get in this race, because I knew that I couldn't just sit on the sideline and let our district's future, continue to go down. We have to address these problems. So I'm going to be out on the campaign trail. I'm going to be working hard. I'm going to be visiting, voters, knocking on their doors. We're going to get out and continue to have those important conversations with voters. We've got some great events, coming up inside the district. I'm proud to have the formal support of Governor Nathan Deal, as well as both our congressional representatives and Congressman Tom Graves and Congressman Phil Gingrey, and so we got some great events coming up with each of those individuals. So I'm looking forward to those. But I just really look forward to the opportunities I have to have conversations, with the constituents in the 16th districts, whether it's about our economy, whether it's about education, what we can do to, cut down on some of the drugs and crime that affect our district. That's what we need right now. We need a, forward-thinking dialogue. We can't allow ourselves to get sidetracked by these political maneuvers that have taken place over the last couple of days. I'm not a career politician. And so, I'm just a small business guy. And so I'm going to continue to bring my experience from that to help deal with some of these difficult problems we're facing. I believe that, we need to continue shrinking the size of our government. And in doing so, we need to be cutting taxes and putting more of your paycheck back in the hands of the individual, John.
Well, Trey, we got about 2 minutes left here very quickly. You are in, and it's funny, people don't appreciate this, Polk County is really going to be one of the surprise growth counties in northwest Georgia. I mean, just the spillover alone from Paulding's one part of it and all, but it continues to, to inch up. With that growth in mind, what kind of a blue plate, what kind of a template do you think the community needs for that growth?
Again, John, I think it's working to create the environment to allow Polk County and the 16th district to be as competitive as we can. We live in a global economy right now, so not only is, Polk County, and the 16th district competing with other districts across the state, and then across the state lines in Alabama, Tennessee, we're competing with China, Brazil, Japan, and we have to compete on a global level. And so we have to continue to work on our competitiveness. That's why it's so important. We continue to work to cut taxes. We continue to get rid of these burdensome regulations. And we try to offer up the absolute best business climate we can. That's how we'll grow Polk County. That's how we'll grow the 16th district. And that's how we'll grow Georgia. We have a 9.2% unemployment rate right now. That's higher than the national average. It has to be addressed. It does. And, fortunate to have so many, supporters behind us. From the beginning, we've had this vision to lower our taxes, to rebuild our economy, and stop Obamacare. That's what we're going to be focused on doing over these next 36 days, and then beyond. And so, I would encourage voters or citizens who want to get engaged in our campaign to please visit our website. It's www.kelleyforhouse.com. That's KELLEYFORHouse.com. All my contact information is there. You can shoot me an email. You can give me a call. I want you to be involved with our campaign, and I want to hear your concerns. We need to have these important conversations about our state and our district's future.
Well, Trey, we do appreciate it. My next question was going to be, how can folks contact you? You just nailed that, my friend. So we're in great shape there. Trey, we thank you for your time today. Wish you best of luck in your campaign. I know we'll talk to you again before Election Day. You have a great day in Northwest Georgia.
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate you having me on. Again, I just want to take this opportunity to ask the radio listeners out there to please, I would appreciate your consideration on November 6th for Trey Kelley, the Republican candidate for State House District 16. Thank you, John.
Hometown Headlines Radio Edition.